विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय इंदौर, Dr. K. N. Guru Prasad, Dean Sciences and Forensic Science, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, Convener TATHYAM 2023 and Coordinator Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, Dr. M.P. Gautam, Advisor TATHYAM 2023 and Professor Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, Sri Vinod Dhar, Coordinator Sri Vaishnav Institute of Agriculture, Sri Mahendra Pratap Singh, Training and Placement Officer, Mrs. Poonam Yadav, Coordinator TATHYAM 2023, eminent speakers, deans, heads of institute, head of departments, faculty members, and participants of various institutions of India joined online here. I extend a cheerful welcome to you. Light symbolizing a ray of hope, victory over darkness, and defeat ignorance. It marks the beginning of auspicious moments and events. Now, we are going to witness our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony online as a tribute to Veena Vahini Vidyadayini Ma Saraswati. I now request technical team to please play the video. I think there is technical glitches.
There is no sound.
Yes, sir. I think there is technical glitch from IUSR side. So can we move forward?
Yes, we should go ahead.
Yes. Atithi Devo Bhavaha. Following this culture, now I request Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, to virtually welcome our chief guest, Dr. Alok Kumar Chakrawal ji. Welcome you, sir.
So I heartily welcome Dr. Alok Kumar Chakrawal ji to our platform. Welcome, Dr. Chakrawal.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, let us have the pleasure of listening to the remark of Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, conference convener, to know more about the objectives of Conference TATHYAM 2023. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar, ma'am. Namaskar to all dignitaries and good afternoon. I tender my heartiest welcome to all for this 2 days conference TATHYAM. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Alok Kumar Chakrawal, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, Bilaspur, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, Dr. Upinder Dhar, esteemed resource persons, chairpersons of the session, HOIs of the constituent institutions of Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, dear participants from various fields of forensic science, such as National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Tagore Institute of Pharmacy, Lovely Professional University, Government College, Sagar, National Forensic Science University, Delhi, Kalinga University, Raipur, Mangalayatan University, Jaipur, and my dear students. It is necessary in the field of forensic science to be aware of recent technologies and with the aim to promote, to inculcate the environment of research, to provide and platform to academia, scientists, researchers to come and discuss their research work. Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science has organized its first conference in the year 2020 on the theme Recent Advancements in Forensic Science. And the journey continued till. Therefore, today we are gathered for the same on the theme Multidisciplinary Approaches in Forensic Science. In this 2 days conference, the words of wisdom will be shared by eminent speakers. There will be 3 plenary sessions. One is after inaugural, that is today, and 2 will be tomorrow. The first plenary session will be graced by the deliberation from Dr. S.L. Rana, former Director, State Forensic Science Laboratory, Haryana. The second plenary session, that is tomorrow, it will be enlightened by the deliberation from Dr. Mukesh Kumar Thakkar, Professor and Head, Department of Forensic Science, Punjabi University, Patiala. The third session will be graced by the deliberations from Professor Sally Lucas, Department of Forensic Science, Sarda University, Greater Noida. And both of these sessions, they will be chaired by Dr. K.N. Guru Prasad, Dean Science and Sciences and Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, and Dr. M.P. Gautam, Professor, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science. All the sessions will be followed by questions and answers. There will be one poster and one oral presentation under technical session in which the participants present their research findings. I hope these 2 days will prove as a mind-blowing days and open new vistas in the field of research. Finally, best of luck to all participants and thanks one again. Swati Madam, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the outline of conference with us. I now have the pleasure of inviting Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, for welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Chief guest on this special occasion, Professor Alok Kumar Chakravalji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Ghasidas University, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, all other directors, deans, faculty members, delegates, and my dear young friends. At the outset, I would like to welcome Professor Chakrawal and all other delegates, all other members and guests who have joined us this afternoon. As you know, that on 29th of July 2020, National Education Policy was declared open. And in the process, various committees were constituted by the Government of India to ensure proper implementation of the policy. And in last 3 years now, more than 3 years now. Many institutions, in fact, most of the institutions have started implementing this policy, as we have been given about 10 years to implement it gradually. There are many important provisions in this 2020 policy which will result into doing certain things for the first time in the country. Though from time to time, various amendments have happened, changes have happened in our education system, right from Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Commission to Mudaliar Commission, then Kothari Commission, and then in 86, another committee was there, which was headed by Narasimha Rao. And then after a long wait of 30 years, in 20 have this policy. As I said, there will be many firsts. See, the one of the focal points in this 2020 policy is that education has to be student-centered. It is the student who is in the center. And every educational institution, every higher education institution particularly, has to ensure the overall development of the student. And that overall development is not possible if we continue to restrict ourselves to a particular single discipline. We need to go beyond our disciplines, break the abstract walls and boundaries between the disciplines and subjects, and allow a student to have his or her choice in choosing the subjects. So the approach has to be multidisciplinary. It can no more be single discipline approach. A student of engineering must also get exposed to some courses of his choice, maybe from management, maybe from humanities, even maybe from fine art. So there have not to be any boundaries. Students should get the opportunity to develop in totality. Similarly, a student of forensic science should be able to choose a subject from maybe from fine arts or maybe from social sciences and other disciplines. That is one way of ensuring the overall development of the student, so that having exposure to varied disciplines and holistic development happens. I'm happy that our Institute of Forensic Science has chosen multidisciplinarity as the theme for this TATHYAM 2023, which happens to be the fourth TATHYAM in line. So I'm sure that during the deliberations today and tomorrow, various resource persons will touch upon this theme in more detail and in a way provide the path for those who are in the area of forensic science about how to go about this multidisciplinarity. In the 2020 policy, there are other provisions, many provisions. Say, for example, multiple entry, multiple exit. This is again happening for the first time in our country. Academic bank of credit, again, it's happening first time in the country. Over the period of time, we will have only three kinds of higher education institutions. We'll have universities, which will be in research intensive. Then we will have also the universities which will be teaching universities. Although research will happen there also, but more focus will be on teaching. And then finally, autonomous degree granting college. See, this autonomous granting colleges will be happening first time in our country. Today we have autonomous degree colleges. That autonomy is granted by University Grants Commission. But these autonomous colleges which are existing today cannot award a degree. But over the period of time, as provided by NEP 2020,
Hello.
autonomous degree granting colleges. That's how it is going to be different over the period of time. So we need to pick up these provisions one by one, like the multidisciplinarity has been taken in this conference. Similarly, various provisions on which we can have more detailed discussion during such conference, because many scholars, eminent scholars from various subjects join during this period whenever we have a conference. And that deliberation is necessary. There are certain teething problems, but then we have to learn to cope with the situation and make our higher education more superior qualitative. That superior qualitative education is very important. That we need to improve. These are all steps towards improvement of the quality of education. Because there are certain concerns so far as the quality of education is concerned. Irrespective of whether a university is a private university or public university, these issues need to be addressed, and this NEP 2020 will certainly facilitate us in overcoming such issues and presenting some of the great institutions, great universities in the world. There used to be a time when our universities were well known all over the world, Nalanda, Takshashila, and so on. Scholars, students from other countries used to come to India at that time and study. If all happens in the right direction, perhaps that phase is again going to come when people from any corner of the world will look at our universities. So with these words, I know that all of us are very eager to listen to Professor Chakraval. So therefore, I will not extend further. I wish you all the best and happy learning to all the delegates of this conference. Thank you very much.
न चौरहार्यम न च राजहार्यम न भ्रातुभाज्यम न च भारकारी व्यम कृते वरदत् एव नित्यम विद्याधनम सर्वधनम प्रधानम. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the objective of NEP 2020 with us. A release of souvenir is a moment of pride for organizer in any conference. It is the result of hard work of team members. May I request chief guest of the occasion, Dr. Alok Kumar Chakrawal ji, to virtually release the souvenir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
It appears there is some problem with the sound, otherwise there should have been sound also.
Yes, sir.
No issue, no issue. These are very normal things, and when we do online kind of events, so such kind of technical glitches happens, and sometimes we should accept it. By now, it's almost more than 3 years we are used to online culture now.
Yes.
So we understand it. Anyways, thank you, and congratulations to you for preparing such a wonderful souvenir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's a matter of immense pleasure and pride to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Chakrawal ji. Professor Dr. Alok Kumar Chakrawal is the Vice Chancellor of Guru Ghasidas University, Bilaspur, equipped with more than 30 years of administrative and academic experience in leading university and corporate. His area of specialization are management, accounts, finance, marketing, and research. He is an alumnus of Oxford University, MG Kashi Vidyapith, BBS Purvanchal University, DDU Gorakhpur University, and Harish Chandra PG College. He has produced 20 PhDs and 6 scholars are pursuing. He is the part of leadership program of National Institute of Planning and Administration and Oxford University. He is the peer team member of NAC and KCG. He is the lifetime member of Indian Accounting Association, Indian Commerce Association, All India Management Association. He has visited USA, UK, China, Thailand, Nepal for academic and administrative work. He is the editorial board member of 7 international and 2 national journals. Professor Chakrawal has authored 16 books, 1 monograph, 14 popular articles, including भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संघर्ष के जनजातीय नाटक वीर सौरभ. He has published 60 research papers in national and international journal of repute. Professor Chakrawal has been conferred various awards and honors. He has secured 3 gold medals in graduation and post-graduation, West Paper Award in the International Seminar section of National Conference of Indian Accounting Association on Accounting Education and Research in 2001, West Paper Award in the International Conference of Strategic Management at the University of Mumbai in 2012, 2014, and 2016. Felicitation by Commissioner of Higher Education, Government of Gujarat for Academic Administrative Excellence in 2013. West Paper Award in Key West International Multidisciplinary Academic Conference, Key West, Florida, USA in 2013. West Paper Award at Global Congress on Knowledge Economic held at China in 2014. Lifetime Achievement Award by jointly Ramanujan College and Indian Accounting Association in Delhi in 2021. Contribution in the field of academic Navyug Arts and Commerce College, Jabalpur in 2022. As a panelist in Varanasi Shiksha Samagam 2022 held during 7 to 9 July 2022 at Varanasi. The program was inaugurated by Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Honored by Antarashtriya Prithvi Bhushan Samman by Sanskrit Shodh Sansthan and Center for Global Environment Culture, Raebareli. This is there is much more to tell about him, as Vice Chancellor sir already told. We are eager to listen from him. So I request Dr. Chakrawal ji to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Swati ji, for giving such an elaborate introduction of mine. Since organizers always ask about some brief CV or biodata, so my PS always sends this. But I think this should be curtailed, very brief introduction is important. Otherwise, we consume a lot of time. And then other, listeners and other people are not much interested in what I have done in the past. जो मैंने पहले किया, that is not of any use. आज मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, that is important. So talking about history, okay, that's a kind of practice. The very first thing, I'm really honored. I feel honored. Professor Uvednar Dharji is a big name in the national field of academia, and I have a very high regard for him. I can see Dr. K.N. Guruprasad ji. I think I'm known to your name. Probably I don't know if we have met somewhere. I don't remember exactly. और डॉक्टर MP गौतम जी जो मेरे साथ लगातार कोऑर्डिनेट करते रहे इस इवेंट के लिए. आई कैन सी श्री विनोद धर जी, शायद डॉक्टर आशुतोष शुक्ला जी भी कुछ बोलने वाले हैं। लेकिन बड़ी चीज ये है भारतवर्ष का, और जैसे मैं बहुत सारी दुनिया में बहुत सारे और कंट्रीज में जाता रहता हूँ, हमारे यहाँ समस्या क्या हुई कि हमने एक ऐसी पढ़ाई लिखाई को तरजीह दिया जिसमें हमारी मेमोरी टेस्ट होती थी। मतलब हम साल भर पढ़ाई करते थे और साल के अंत में 3 घंटे में ये देखा जाता था कि हमने जो साल भर में पढ़ाई की है उसको हम कितनी अच्छी हैंडराइटिंग में और कितना याद करके हम लिख पाते। तो साल भर में हम जो और चीजें सीखते थे, जैसे इंटरपर्सनल स्किल, नो, हाउ टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम प्रैक्टिकली, द एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, हाउ टू लीड द इंस्टीट्यूशन, मतलब इतनी तरह की चीजें हम साल भर में सीखते थे, उनका कोई असेसमेंट नहीं होता था। हमारा असेसमेंट इस बात पर होता था कि हमने 3 घंटे में कितना पन्ना भरा, कितनी सप्लीमेंट्री भरी, कितनी अच्छी राइटिंग में लिखा, कितना हमने हेडिंग्स दिया, कितना नहीं। अब अगर इस लिहाज से मैं देखता हूं तो जैसा कि अभी स्वाति जी ने मुझे बताया कि मुझे गोल्ड मेडल और ये सारी चीजें, ये एलिमिनेशन हैं, ये सारी बेकार की चीजें हैं। मुझे लगता है कि वो गोल्ड मेडल सही नहीं है। सही ये होता कि मेरे ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट के बारे में सोचा जाता कि मैं सोसाइटी के लिए क्या कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा हूँ। मैं अपने ग्रुप में हमारे जो पीयर्स हैं उनके साथ मेरा क्या इंटरेक्शन है, मैं लीडरशिप की क्या क्वालिटी सीख रहा हूँ, मेरे में एंटरप्रेन्योरियल स्किल कितने आ रहे हैं, मैं, वो चीज बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है। सो लुकिंग टू दैट, मुझे लगता है कि जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 है, ये अपने आप में एक क्रांतिकारी दस्तावेज है। और जैसा कि जो ट्रैक प्रोफेसर उपेंद्र धर जी ने सेट किया, आई कैरी इट फॉरवर्ड। और क्यों कैरी फॉरवर्ड किया? बिकॉज इंपॉर्टेंट है। अब समस्या ये है कि देश में सभी लोग एनईपी पे बात कर रहे हैं, मगर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में कहीं ना कहीं लोग उलझ जाते हैं। उलझने के पीछे कारण ये है कि हम इसको सही पर्सपेक्टिव में पढ़ नहीं पाते, और पढ़ लेते तो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर पाते हैं, उस पर एक्ट अपॉन नहीं। जैसे एक छोटी सी चीज है, एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट, जैसा धर साहब ने बताया, बहुत अच्छी चीज है। क्या हमने अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन का डिजी लॉकर पर एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट में अपने सारे बच्चों का अकाउंट खुलवाया है? पहली चीज है कि आप अकाउंट खुलवा लीजिए। बहुत सिंपल प्रोसेस है, कुछ भी नहीं करना है। वहां पर जाना है, इंस्टीट्यूशन का अकाउंट खोलना है, इंस्टीट्यूशन के थ्रू आपको बच्चों को रजिस्टर करना है। अब जैसा कि सर बता रहे थे कि एक डिसिप्लिन का बच्चा या एक स्ट्रीम का बच्चा या एक फैकल्टी का बच्चा अगर चाहे तो दूसरे सब्जेक्ट्स को, दूसरी स्ट्रीम्स को पढ़ सकता है, पर पढ़ेगा कहाँ से? हमने कोई ऐसी चीज, कोई व्यवस्था की है? देखिए, एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट में इस बात का प्रोविजन है कि आप हर कोर्स में, प्रोग्राम में नहीं, प्रोग्राम एंड कोर्सेज आर अलग चीज है। मैं इस बात के लिए श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय को बधाई देता हूं कि उन्होंने एक बड़ा अच्छा वेबिनार रखा ना। अब जैसे मान लीजिए एक बच्चा है, फिजिक्स पढ़ रहा है, मगर उसको लोगों को फेस रीडिंग करने का, लोगों का हाव भाव, बिहेवियर रीड करने का बड़ा एक इंटरेस्ट है। वो लोगों को देख के बताता है कि यार ये आदमी ऐसा होगा, इसका नेचर ऐसा होगा, इसकी साइकोलॉजी ये कहती है, ये आदमी दिखने में तो बड़ा अच्छा है मगर घर में पत्नी के साथ मारपीट करता होगा, या ये आदमी गुमसुम सा है मगर अंदर इसके बहुत सारी चीजें, टैलेंट छुपी हुई हैं। तो एक आदमी साइकोलॉजी पढ़ना चाहता है, वो एक्चुअली फिजिक्स का विद्यार्थी है, ग्रेजुएट है, ग्रेजुएशन कर रहा है। हमारा पहले पुराना एक बड़ा सिलोज हुआ करता था स्ट्रक्चर कि BZC मान लीजिए कह दिया, तो बॉटनी, जुअलॉजी, केमिस्ट्री, PMC मतलब फिजिक्स मैथ केमिस्ट्री, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं पड़ेगा। नहीं, अब अगर मान लीजिए बच्चा ये चाहता है कि उसको साइकोलॉजी भी पढ़नी है तो पढ़ लेगा, मगर अवेलेबल कहाँ है? ठीक है, हमने ये हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन के बारे में आपको कोई ब्रांडिंग या प्रमोशन या प्रोपेगेंडा नहीं है। हमने ऐसे 65 अलग अलग कोर्सेज आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं और जो हमारी वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल है, कि अगर कोई बच्चा उसमें केवल एक कोर्स पढ़ना चाहता है, मान लीजिए मेटलर्जी पढ़ना चाहता है, मान लीजिए हिंदी साहित्य पढ़ना चाहता है, मान लीजिए इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस पढ़ना चाहता है, मान लीजिए पॉलिटिकल थॉट्स पढ़ना चाहता है, मान लीजिए फिजिकल केमिस्ट्री पढ़ना चाहता है, ऐसे हमने कुल 65 अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स कह लीजिए या कोर्सेज कह लीजिए आइडेंटिफाई किए, और जिनका लिस्ट हमारे वेबसाइट पर है। किसी कोर्स की फीस हमने 1,000 रखी है, किसी की 2,000 रखी है, किसी की 3,000 रखी है। वो इंजीनियरिंग में भी हो सकता है, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में भी हो सकता है, ह्यूमैनिटीज में भी हो सकता है, आर्ट्स में भी हो सकता है। और बच्चा उसकी फीस भर के ऑनलाइन या रेगुलर मोड में आकर के उसकी क्लास अटेंड कर सकता है, उसका एग्जाम दे सकता है, और उसके लिए जो उसका क्रेडिट अर्न होगा वो उसके एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट में क्रेडिट हो जाएगा। अब जैसे मैं पूनम यादव जी को देख पा रहा हूं, वो बड़ी उलझी हुई है कि ये चीज क्या है, समझ नहीं पा रही है। पूनम जी बताइए, आपको ऐसे ही लग रहा है ना? आप क्या, आपको कुछ समझ में आ रहा है जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ? नहीं, आप माइक्रोफोन ऑन करिए, माइक्रोफोन ऑन करें।
जी सर। हम्म।
आप
हाँ
समझ पा
यस।
रही मैं क्या कह?
यस सर, हमारे
नहीं
यहाँ
समझ?
है ये पॉलिसी, हमारे यहाँ है सर।
नहीं नहीं,
हम लोग कर
आपने
रहे हैं
कितने
अभी।
प्रोग्राम्स, कितने कोर्सेज में इन चीजों को लागू किया है? कर दिया है उनको? और
हाँ।
अगर कर दिया है तो मैं आपको बधाई दूंगा। और उपिंदर धर साहब तो इतने डायनेमिक आदमी, वो सारी चीजें जानते हैं। मगर फिर भी मैं बता रहा हूं कि कई बार क्या होता है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ब्लॉकेजेस होते हैं, कई बार और सारी चीजें होती हैं, मगर इतने अच्छे लीडर के साथ ये चीजें हो सकती हैं। तो अब हम हमारे यहाँ मान लीजिए कैफेटेरिया अप्रोच आ गया, कैफेटेरिया अप्रोच आ गया। और दूसरी बात, मान लीजिए ग्रेजुएशन होने के लिए 140 क्रेडिट्स चाहिए। अब बच्चा कहां से कैसे ला रहा है, कर सकता है। इंक्लूजन की जो बात आई, एक्सेस की बात आई, क्वालिटी की बात है। अब मान लीजिए एक प्रोफेसर है, इकोनॉमिक्स में बड़ा बोर करता है, उसके क्लास में बच्चे जाने से डरते हैं या जाते ही नहीं है। छोड़ो उस प्रोफेसर को साइड में, आप दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर के पास जाकर के पढ़ के अपना क्रेडिट अर्न करके लेकर के आओ। किससे रोक रखा है? पहले तो एमपी गौतम सर और उपिंदर सर, मैं आपको बताऊं, हम लोगों को अब कुछ शब्द बड़ा खराब सा है, वह झक मार के बैठना पड़ता था। हमें तो याद है कि एक साहब हमको पढ़ाते थे, हम लोग उनकी क्लास में एकदम पीछे बेंच पे बैठते थे जाके, जानबूझ के। हमको पता था कि वहां पे कुछ मिलने वाला नहीं है, तो या तो अकाउंट्स के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते थे या और कोई काम किया करते थे। वो हमको पता था कि 1 घंटा हमको प्रवचन सुनना है और बाहर निकल तो सकते नहीं है। तो अब कैफेटेरिया अप्रोच हो गया। एक बच्चा अपने कोर्स, अपने प्रोग्राम को, अपने डिग्री को डिजाइन करता है, और वो पॉसिबल है। पूरी दुनिया में बहुत पहले से आ चुकी थी। अमेरिका में देख लीजिए, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में देख लीजिए, कोरिया में देख लीजिए, सब जगह बहुत पहले। अभी कल मैं फॉरेन की एक यूनिवर्सिटी में था, फिजिकली प्रेजेंट था, तो मैंने देखा उनके यहाँ तो सालों से चल रहा है ये सारी चीजें। हमारे यहाँ चूंकि देश बहुत बड़ा है, तो इसलिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, और स्पेशली जिसको कहा जाए कि आईटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की समस्या थी। जैसे एनएडी आया शुरुआत में, तो सबसे पहले एनएसडीएल वालों ने अपनी सपोर्ट सर्विसेज दी थी। बाद में क्या हुआ, उसको डिजी लॉकर पे होस्ट कर लिया हम लोगों ने। आज हमारे सारे डिग्री डॉक्यूमेंट सारे वहां डिजी लॉकर में जमा हो रहे हैं। अब क्रेडिट सिस्टम भी आ गया। आप देखिए, हमारे फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर ने बहुत पहले इन चीजों को अडॉप्ट किया। यानी जो शेयर्स के फिजिकल सर्टिफिकेट्स होते थे, उनको डीमेटरलाइज कर दिया और डीमैट में ट्रांसफर कर दिया, उनको वर्चुअल बना दिया। ठीक है ना? तो डीमैट एंड रीमैट का एक कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया। वही चीज आज आपके नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क कहता है, नेशनल क्रेडिट फ्रेमवर्क कहता है 15 घंटे पढ़ाएंगे तो 1 क्रेडिट मिलेगा, 30 घंटे प्रैक्टिकल करेंगे तो 1 क्रेडिट मिलेगा, 40 घंटे फील्ड वर्क करेंगे तो 1 क्रेडिट मिलेगा। सारा क्रेडिट क्लियर है। और अब कोई जरूरी नहीं है, आप 40% तक कोर्सेज ऑनलाइन रिसोर्सेज से कर सकते हैं। आप मूक्स हैं, स्वयं है, स्वयं प्रभा है, अर्पित है, एनपीटेल है, दुनिया भर के जो ऑनलाइन रिसोर्सेज है उनसे आप क्रेडिट अर्न कर सकते हैं। यानी अचानक से आप देखिए एनरोलमेंट बढ़ जाने वाली है। क्योंकि जिन बच्चों को पहले अब चेन्नई में बैठा हुआ है, कन्याकुमारी में बैठा हुआ है, अरुणाचल में बैठा हुआ है, ओखा में बैठा हुआ है, कश्मीर के अनंतनाग में बैठा है, वो बच्चा कहीं से भी बैठकर अपनी पढ़ाई कर सकता है। तो एक तरह से मुझे लगता है कि ये जो कोरोना आया वो ब्लेसिंग इन डिस्गाइज था। उसने ऑनलाइन मोड में हमें मिलने का एक तरीका दे दिया। अब आज हम यहाँ बैठे, आप इंदौर में बैठे हैं, आप में से कोई स्पीकर या कोई पार्टिसिपेंट देश के किसी और भाग में हो सकता है, दुनिया के किसी और भाग में हो सकता है। हम तो अब ऑनलाइन इंटरव्यू भी करने लगे और लोग सिलेक्ट भी हो रहे हैं। अभी हमारे यहाँ एक बच्ची फ्रांस से सिलेक्ट हुई, वो आ रही ज्वाइन करने के लिए, ऑनलाइन मोड में सिलेक्ट हुई। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि बहुत बड़ी क्रांतिकारी परिवर्तन आ रहा है। बड़ी चीज ये है कि हमें, और मैं बता दूं, अब वो जमाना आ गया परफॉर्म और पेरिस। अगर आप परफॉर्म नहीं करेंगे तो बच्चे आपको छोड़ के चले जाएंगे। यानी क्लास में जो कथा बांचने का सिस्टम था वो अब चला गया। क्लास में कई सारे अध्यापक ऐसे हुआ करते थे जो विषय वस्तु न पढ़ा करके इधर उधर की बातें किया करते थे। इस बात से आप सभी लोग सहमत होंगे। देखिए गौतम जी मुस्कुरा भी रहे हैं, यानी उनको अपना अनुभव याद आ रहा है। तो ऐसा बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ होता था। तो क्वालिटी अब आ रही है। मुझे लगता है कि ये जो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है इसमें एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग की बात देख लीजिए। आपको 50% तक उसको अनुभव जन्य ज्ञान देना होगा। अब एलएलबी करके लड़का निकल रहा है, उसको जमानत की अर्जी लिखनी नहीं आती है, बेल एप्लीकेशन लिखा जाए तो क्या एलएलबी पढ़ा उसने? तो उसको भाई 4 घंटे 3 घंटे 5 घंटे वकील के पास बिठाइए। वहां जाकर के हो सकता है शुरुआत में वकील उससे कोई काम ना कराए, केवल फाइल निकलवा रखवाए, पर धीमे धीमे अगर आप में श्रद्धा है तो वो आपको सिखाएगा। मैं एक घटना आपको बताना चाहूंगा। हमारे एक मित्र दामजी भाई कोरिया जो आजकल ऑस्ट्रेलिया में सेटल्ड है, तो वो दर्जी का काम करते थे। तो उन्होंने बताया कि आलोक जी हम क्या करते थे कि हमारे यहाँ जो शागिर्द आता था उसको 3 साल तक हम अपने साथ रखते थे। हमारे साथ ही रहता था, खाता था, पीता था। उसको हम कटिंग सिखाते थे, स्टिचिंग सिखाते थे, बकरम सिलाते थे, पिको सिलाते थे, इंटरलॉकिंग सारा कुछ सिखाते थे। 3 साल तक काम करता था और 3 साल में वो दर्जी बन के चला जाता था। वो एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग थी। उसको क्लासरूम ने नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ डिजाइन की तरह वहां बैठाकर क्लासरूम में निफ्ट की तरह नहीं सिखाया जाता कि ये है, ये डिजाइन है। वो बैठ करके वहां जमीन पर लिटरली जमीन पे दरी बिछा करके सिखाते थे। और 3 साल में न 1 रुपया उसको देते थे, न 1 रुपया लेते थे। खाना वही उन्हीं के घर खाता था उस्ताद क्या। और 3 साल में इतना बढ़िया दर्जी बन के निकलता था। आज बड़े से बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट से बच्चे सीख के आते हैं और उनसे कहा जाए कि भैया यहाँ से कलर ठीक नहीं बना है, तो कहेगा आपको सर फैशन की पता नहीं है, आप नहीं जानते हैं। तो चलिए अच्छी बात है। हमारा कहने का मतलब ये है कि अनुभव जन्य ज्ञान, आप कुछ भी पढ़ा रहे हो उसका प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन क्या है वो बताइए। लर्निंग आउटकम का कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया, हाँ, प्रोग्राम आउटकम का कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया, कोर्स आउटकम का कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया। पहले नहीं था, कुछ भी हम पढ़ाते थे चलता था, वो अब नहीं चलेगा। तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरह की चर्चा, इस तरह की बातें और भी होनी चाहिए। मैं अनावश्यक रूप से बहुत ज्यादा बोलूं वो भी उचित नहीं है। बट आई एम रियली वेरी मच हैप्पी टू सी दैट दिस यूनिवर्सिटी इज टेकिंग front role and front lead to organize such a kind of international or national webinars or events where people are getting awareness and kind of upgraded information also on very tricky and very important and complicated also, because NEP is not that much easy also. People keep on talking on one aspect, they leave so many other dimensions and then they don't discuss it in depth. I think there will be some people who will be talking on in depth. And the first book, the foremost and important thing is that please read. If you have not gone through, there are only 66 pages in English. If you go in Hindi version, it is 102 pages. Please read this properly, and then you'll rely. I'm not talking about from kindergarten till PG, right? College. So if you go in higher education, it is hardly 25 pages, not more than that. But I think one should read it completely to understand the soul of higher education policy, national education policy. And the basic objective is to prepare well-rounded graduates. Now, well-rounded graduate is कि आप पढ़ाई करने के बाद अपने आप को फाइनेंशियली, सोशली, इकोनॉमिकली, प्रोफेशनली सेल्फ इंडिपेंडेंट पाते हो। ये नहीं है कि बीए करने के बाद फिर पापा से कहना है अब एमए करा दो, बीएससी करने के बाद फिर क्या अब हमको पीएचडी करना है, ये करना है, नौकरी का पता नहीं है, खुद व्यवसाय नहीं कर सकते। नहीं, आपको सेल्फ अर्निंग करना पड़ेगा। 15-16 साल के बच्चे को अपनी आमदनी इंश्योर कर लेनी चाहिए। मुझे लगता है ऐसा हम लोग सोचते हैं। सो एनीवेज, thank you so much for inviting me as chief guest. I feel honored. I express my sincere gratitude to the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar sir, and to the organizer. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. स्वदेशी पूज्यते राजा, भगवान पूज्यते। राजा तो राज्य में पूजा जाता है, लेकिन जो विद्वान होता है उसको पूरा संसार पूछता है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत ही सरल और सहज तरीके से शिक्षा प्रणाली के बारे में हम सभी को अवगत कराने के लिए। और हमें यह बताते हुए बहुत ही हर्ष हो रहा है कि हमारा जो संस्थान है, जो हमारा विश्वविद्यालय है, वो कुछ चुनिंदा संस्थानों में से है जिसने कि एनईपी 2020 को भी लागू कर लिया है। साथ ही साथ एकेडमिक बैंक का भी रजिस्ट्रेशन सारे प्रोग्राम्स में हो गया है। So, sir, once again, thank you so much. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and create a vision for tomorrow. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Poonam Yadav, conference coordinator, to propose words of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all of you. I, Poonam Yadav, Coordinator, TATHYAM 2023, a virtual national conference of forensic science on multidisciplinary approaches in forensic science, feel privileged to express my sincere gratitude to all of you who have gathered on this virtual platform. First and foremost, I express my gratitude to our chief guest, Professor Dr. Alok Kumar Chakrawal, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, Central University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, for taking time out of his busy schedule to embrace us with intellectual words. I am extremely thankful to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upendra Dhar sir, who always motivate and inspire us. I am thankful to him for his valuable inaugural speech. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. I would like to thank all of the speakers who have graciously agreed to share their words of wisdom. Thanks to Dr. L.S. Rana, Retired Director, State Forensic Science Laboratory, Punjab, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Thakkar, Professor and Head, Department of Forensic Science, Punjab University, Patiala, and Professor Shaili Lukoj, Head, Department of Forensic Science, Sharda University, Noida. My sincere thanks are also due to Dr. Santosh Dhar, Madam, Rector and Dean, FDSR, for her valuable suggestion and encouragement. Thanks are also due to Dr. K.N. Guru Prasad, Dean of Science and Director of Sri Vaishnav Institute of Science, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, Coordinator, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, and Dr. M.P. Gautam, Senior Professor, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, who are the chairperson of today's plenary session. Thanks are also due to Dr. Baljit Yadav, Medicaps University, Indore, a chairperson of poster presentation session. Lastly, but not the least, thanks to all directors of Constituent Institute, HODs, HOI, Sri Binod Dhar sir, faculty colleagues, and all the participants. Thank you very much once again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Poonam ma'am. Now, I request all of you to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Bharat Mata Ki
Jai.
Jai. Thank you, all of you. Now, I request all the participants.
बोल रहे हैं क्या?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, बोल
ये चक्रवाल जी निकल गए हैं अभी?
जी सर, जी सर,
निकल गए क्या है अभी?
जी सर, निकल गए
ओके
जी।
Yes,
ओके,
sir.
कैन कैरी ऑन. ठीक है.
यस सर।
सर
Now, I-
नमस्कार सर. राणा सर नमस्कार सर.
Namaskar.
नमस्कार सर। सर 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 अनम्यूट कर दीजिए अपना माइक, राणा सर। सर माइक अनम्यूट कर दीजिए सर।
Now, this session
Okay.
for this, I am handing over the session to Mrs. Archana Patel. Over to Archana, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. With due permission of the session chair, should I start the session, sir? Shukla, sir?
Okay, madam, चालू करें.
Okay, sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. Respected speaker of today's plenary session, Dr. L.S. Rana, retired Director, Forensic Science Laboratory, Punjab. Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, Coordinator, Sri Vaishno Institute of Forensic Science and Session Chair of today's plenary session. Dr. M.P. Gautam, Senior Professor, Sri Vaishno Institute of Forensic Science. Distinguished HODs, HOIs, faculty members, academicians, industry members, and my dear friends. I, Archana Pathak, Assistant Professor, Sri Vaishno Institute of Forensic Science, welcome you all in plenary session 1 of TATHYAM 2023. As we know, it's our tradition to welcome our Atithi. So first, I request Dr. M.P. Gautam sir to welcome Dr. Ashutosh Shukla sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I request Dr. Ashutosh Shukla sir to welcome our today's speaker, Dr. L.S. Rana sir. Thank you. Now, moving forward, I would like to take the privilege to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. L.S. Rana. Dr. L.S. Rana sir is having 45 years of experience in teaching, administration, and other related areas of forensic science. He has started his career as scientific officer and retired in October 2007 as head Forensic Science Laboratory, Punjab. He has written several research papers and guided research students for their MPhil and PhD work in forensic science. He had regularly taught forensic science, forensic medicine, police procedure and investigation techniques to the students of MA Police Administration at Punjab University, Chandigarh for 7 years from Jan 2008 to December 2014. He still visited university for special lectures in forensic science. He had also worked as Vice President training head for about 3 years at Central Detective Training Institute, Chandigarh, under Bureau of Police Research and Development, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India till October 2014. Currently, he is working as senior faculty in the institute and have updated forensic science teaching material for police personnel and investigating officers. He has also developed various forensic testing kit for explosive, narcotic drugs, and food poison for use by the field police officers. We welcome you, sir, in our session today.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like also to take the privilege to introduce our session chair today, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, sir. Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, sir, is associated with Sri Vaishno Group since 25 years. He is Professor Chemistry and Coordinator, Sri Vaishno Institute of Forensic Science, Sri Vaishno Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, and Member Board of Management, SVV, and having a long experience of teaching and learning in the field of chemistry. He has visited many foreign countries for academic purpose and presented research papers in various national and international conferences abroad and India. He has also published research work in reputed peer-reviewed journals. He is also member of many prestigious organizations like International Congress of Chemistry and Environment, lifetime member of ISCA, Indian Science Congress Association, lifetime member of Association of Chemistry Teachers, and life member of Vigyan Bharati. He has facilitated many times for his significant contribution in the field of chemistry. Now, I request Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, sir, the session chair of today's plenary session 1, to welcome our speaker Rana, sir. Sir, I hand over the session to you. Over to you, sir.
Okay, madam. My heartiest welcome to Rana sir. We are eagerly waiting to listen your mind-blowing words.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shukla.
Yeah, sir. Yes.
Good afternoon, all the participants of TATHYAM 2023, a conference on multidisciplinary approaches in forensic science. First of all, I pay my regards to Dr. Upendra Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, and Dr. M.P. Gautam, Professor in SVIFS Indore, for giving me a chance to interact with you in the conference. I am required to deliver a talk on explosive and post-blast forensic investigation of the explosives. So let me share a PPT with you. Please let me know whether it is visible or not. Explosive and post-blast analysis and its significance in police investigation.
Sir, right now it is not visible. Your screen is not visible, sir.
It's not visible.
No, sir.
Okay, let me try. It's not visible. Is it visible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
No, it's visible. Okay. So explosive and post-blast analysis and its significance in police investigation actually is the topic or is a subject which the forensic scientists are required to do in the forensic science laboratories. So first of all, what is explosive? A substance that when subjected to a suitable stimuli undergoes a violent chemical decomposition with the evolution of heat and gas. And in simpler words, we can say a material containing stored chemical energy, which can be rapidly released in the form of heat and high pressure gas when triggered to do so, is known as explosive. And explosives, as we know, may be a mechanical explosives, chemical explosive, or nuclear explosive. In forensic science laboratories, we are dealing with chemical explosives generally. And what is the effect of explosion? That is blast pressure. At the time of detonation or explosion, the gases can rush out at velocities up to 7,000 miles per hour and can exert pressure up to 700 tons per square inch. This gas travels in outward circular pattern like a giant wave, smashing and shattering everything in its path. That's why actually a lot of pressure of the gases is generated and a lot of heat is also produced when an explosion takes place. And that's why the immense damage is caused to the life and property. An ordinary explosion may be stated to be very rapid combustion. And depending upon the rate of combustion, or to be precise, the velocity of explosion, the explosives have been divided into two main categories: low explosives and high explosives. High explosives have greater velocity, and we say an explosion exceeding a velocity of 1000 meters per second is generally called high explosion. And such explosive substances which has this explosion velocity which exceeds 1000 meters per second are known as high explosive substances. And the other explosives which have velocity of explosion less than 1000 meters per second are known as low explosives, and they are said to deflagrate rather than detonate. So this is a terminology we are using in low explosions and high explosions. in high explosion, we say explosives, they are detonating, they detonate, and low explosives, they deflagrate. Though the two terms are used for explosion only. And pure explosive compounds we know are organic compounds like TNT, TNB, tetrayl, picric acid, TATB, etc. And there are aliphatic compounds also like nitroglycerin, ethylene glycol, dinitrate, then pentaerythritol, etc. These are aliphatic compounds, and they have a structural their structure in space. No doubt, it will take actually different type of structures they have. And starting from 200 BC, before Christ, when the people were knowing about black powder. Black powder means this gunpowder, which we call, is a mixture of potassium nitrate, sulfur, and carbon. And in 220 BC, people were knowing about these explosives. So from age old, people know about explosives. And by now, a lot of development has been done in discovering new compounds which are explosives. And actually, starting from 220 BC to 210, we have developed actually a number of compounds which are explosives and have increasing intensity as explosives have been discovered. And presently, TNT, RDX, HMX, PETN, nitroglycerin, nitrocellulose, these are the explosives which are categorized as high explosives. Actually, this simple example of the explosion of RDX, 1 mole of RDX, when actually detonates, it produces 9 moles of a gas. You can imagine the amount of the volume of the gas is produced when the explosions takes place. If we go in grams, quantity in grams, 1 gram of RDX when explodes, it produces 908 centimeter cube of gases. The pressure, you can imagine how much pressure is generated. Even 1 gram of black powder when explodes produces about 900 times of its volume of gases. Black powder we have already discussed. And then actually black powder when explodes, this is the chemical equation of the explosion of a black powder. Then carbon, sulfur, and potassium nitrate. On explosion, they produce carbon dioxide, nitrogen, then potassium sulfide, and heat. A lot of heat is also generated. Generally, all explosive substances, when explode, they produces carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and some solid substances, and a lot of heat is produced. So the product in this equation is actually, for the purpose of identification, is not any we cannot identify that which explosive has exploded from just the production of carbon dioxide and the production of nitrogen only. So what we have to do in post-blast explosions analysis, we have to depend upon the actually residual matter, the residual remnant of the starting explosive substances. That's why in the post-blast explosion analysis also, we identify the explosive substance from the residues, and residue is generally some of the reactants only. RDX, actually, though it is a white colored crystalline compound, but generally when we recover it from terrorist hideouts, it is black in color and is found mixed with carbon and mobile oil. Actually, 10% mobile oil, 10% carbon, and about 80% of pure RDX is found mixed with this. And the carbon they mix with it because carbon acts as a fuel during explosion and it causes fire when the explosion takes place. Then these are some of the recoveries of the RDX. It is found in the actually weight of about 500 milligram packed in cardboard boxes. This figure shows the recovery of the RDX from a place in Punjab. Then PETN is slightly yellowish white putty type material, and it is also mixed with some waxy material known as plasticizer, and 85% of this material is white colored PETN, and about 85% is white colored PETN, pure PETN, and 15% is a waxy material, and waxy material is a plasticizer. Plasticizer, we call it plasticizer to give shape to this material. It is mixed with it. Then tetrail is also yellowish colored material. It is also putty type flexible material, and it is also found. It is also found mixed with oils and some plastic material. And similarly, this material is a which is wrapped in some hard brown paper. It is a mixture of nitroglycerin, nitrocellulose, ammonium nitrate, and this sawdust. Actually, this is a imitation of one actually a regular explosive substance, that is Bomeo sticks, and it is actually mixed locally by some terrorist group, and it was recovered in one of the case. Then this actually explosive material is used in IEDs, improvised explosive devices. Explosive devices, as we know, are regular explosive devices like hand grenade, mortars, etc., which are used by military personnel. But some of the explosive devices are made locally by the terrorist groups, and they are known as IEDs. That is improvised explosive devices. And improvised explosive devices are the explosive devices, which are made according to the availability of the various substances, like availability of container, availability of explosive substances, availability of the detonating mechanisms by the local terrorist. So what a IED needs is actually a battery, a switch, then explosive substance in a container. This is what is requirement of an IED, that is improvised explosive devices. And improvised explosive devices are found planted by the terrorist at various strategic positions, sometimes for destroying buildings, sometimes for killing people, sometimes for actually creating terror only in market and public places also. So when these substances are found, then actually if they are found undetonated or unexploded, then the material which is used there is analyzed in the laboratory and found to be a mixture of sometimes mixture or pure low explosive as well as high explosive substances. This is one of the IED actually made. This was actually recovered from Bombay when 12 blast, serial blast took place in 1993. This is a scooter, and in the box of the scooter, they had placed about 2 kg of RDX, and it was to be detonated with a time pencil. Time pencil is a timer, actually, which provides times for the explosion. It is actually planted at a place, and then after some time it blasts. Time can be set with the help of time pencil. And there are other examples. This person has actually put some explosive substance in the sole of his shoe, and which can be detonated with the help of this fuse, by putting some actually initiation at this point. And this man was using this shoe while traveling by air, and was actually he wanted the plane to be taken to the desired place. Actually, though he was overpowered, and was actually threatening the crew that otherwise he will blast the plane with the help of this shoe, which we can say is an IED, example of IED. So other examples of IED are, say, this is a simple Sutli bomb. It contains the explosive substance which is sensitive by throwing it, and can explode like this. It is actually, the explosive substance is taken inside a paper, and then it is wrapped with the help of a string, and when thrown down, it explodes and causes damage. So these are some of the examples of IEDs. It is a pipe, and it is filled with gunpowder. These are actually actual IEDs which have been recovered from terrorist hideouts. And this is a pipe, and pipe actually is actually a fuse cord is placed on one side of the pipe, and the pipe is filled with an explosive substance which was found to be gunpowder. And one such IED was exploded, and another was left behind by the terrorist, though it was later on analyzed. And this is an example of IED. These are the example of IEDs which generally are being used by terrorists for their nefarious activities. Another thing which we came to know in the low explosives and high explosive category, that a high explosive bomb can be exploded without any container, without using any container for its explosion. And the reason is the explosion velocity for high explosives. High explosives can be exploded without using a container. We have found such actually explosive explosions in buses in Punjab, where the IED was never a casing with it. No, simply a slab of RDX is taken, and one detonator is inserted inside, and detonator is detonated with the help of a timer, and explosion takes place. So without actually putting casing means a container for the explosive substance, the explosion can take place. And this can happen with the help of high explosives. But in case of low explosive, you always need a container. Otherwise, it will not cause much damage. And while investigating such cases, while visiting crime sites where explosions takes place, we first of all try to search out casings. If casing is available, then it can be an IED, it can be a bomb by using high explosive, it can be a bomb by using low explosive. But if casing is not available, then it is certainly a explosion by using high explosive substance. This is another IED which was planted by some terrorist group which entered India from Pakistan side, and this was placed on the railway track in Gurdaspur. And this contains, this actually a metal sheet which is magnetic in nature, and this magnetic sheet can be attached with any metallic, it was found attached with the railway track, and on the other side of this metallic sheet about 1 kg of RDX was kept, and this was to be detonated with the help of a cordex wire. This wire, which is seen yellow in color, this is known as cordex wire, and cordex wire and detonators are used for causing detonation to high explosive substances. So about 5 such devices were unearthed by a search party from the railway track, and the intention of the terrorist was to actually derail the train which was coming from Jammu side. So this type of, actually, this is the type of IEDs which are being used by terrorists, and what we have found in mostly all these cases, high explosive or sometimes low explosive like gunpowder, these are being used as the explosive substances for causing such explosions in the IEDs. Then these are actually photographs of some cordex wire and detonators which have been actually seized from these terrorist people. And this is a photograph of a time pencil, and time pencil is actually, it comes in a box, thermocol box, and this is a photograph of the time pencil. One side of the time pencil, it contains this detonator, and another side, actually inside the other side, there is actually sulfuric acid inside a glass vial. And while actually setting this timer with the explosive substance, they press this side with the help of a plier so that glass tube breaks. And when the glass tube breaks, sulfuric acid comes out of it, and it the sulfuric acid starts the mechanism, and the detonator then blasts and causes explosion when it is inserted inside an explosive substance. And that different timers can be set. The time pencils available are actually, they have different times written on them. Some of these pencils, they take half an hour, and some takes 2 hours, and sometimes takes 8 hours for causing explosion or sending detonation waves to the explosive substance. So, and after explosion takes place, we find such actually remnants of these time pencils. These are the remnants which you have, mean in the post-blast recoveries, such actually part of these time pencils can be seen like this. This is a actually hammer which was inside that time pencil, and this has caused the detonator. This was used for hitting the detonator inside the pencil, and spring is also found somewhere sometimes. Now, I shall show you examples of some of the explosion incidents which I've seen in Punjab. See, this is actually a the Chief Minister of Punjab, Shri Beyant Singh, was killed in 95. I have actually gone at this explosion site and have taken part in its investigation. And what we see is just after 15 minutes of explosion, this was the photograph of that explosion. And we see this car is burning. And this is a porch behind it. The car was inside the porch. And when explosion took place, this car actually uh, with the force of explosion, this has come out, and this was burning when it came out. So then, after extinguishing the fire, this was the second photograph you can see, and porch is now clearly seen. What we have seen inside the porch, and uh, even beyond that porch, these are the dead bodies of some of the security persons who were guiding the Chief Minister Punjab. And we say this is the damage of their vehicle. This was a gypsy, actually gypsy, in which the security persons were traveling along with the VIP. And we see the damaged gypsy. Then one of the security person, you can see how badly he is burned, his body is burned and is dead. Then this is a photograph of a personal physician of the chief minister, and half of his body is blown off, and half means just upper half has gone. Then this is a car in which the CM was traveling, and in this car there were 4 persons when the blast took place, and all the four, the CM along with one person, one more person were sitting on the backside seat, and one driver and a co-driver were on the front side. All the 4, they died. Actually, the blast was so intense that the body of the CM was not nowhere being seen. It was totally pulverized. Then, see, this was a spare wheel which was kept in the boot of the car of the CM, and you can see the damage to this spare wheel also. And in this explosion, 17 persons, including the terrorists, were killed. And there was see, this is a foot along with a leg, part of leg, which was seen at the blast site. And another thing, see, this is a shoe. Probably this was belonging to this foot which was lying. And another skull, a skull was also lying at the crime scene. So just seeing the skull, this is skull means just skull was there, and some portion of was hanging below that skull when this is taken in hands, and otherwise nothing was visible. So we were thinking that where is the other part of the body of this person whose leg part is there, and this skull part is there. So just by actually seeing the crime scene and other evidences at the crime scene, say like what we see here, some of actually investigating officers thought that the blast took place inside the car of the CM, but this was not the case. The sign of it was that there was a skid. See, there was a skid mark on the road, skid mark on the road, which shows that the car was pushed with the help of the pressure of the explosion. This skid is visible in the photograph. So this indicates that the blast took place outside the car, not inside the car. Had it been inside the car, then the damage inside the car would have been different. Its floor would have gone downwards. There must have been a hole in its body on the upper side had it been in the car. So the indication was that the blast took place outside the car. But there was no crater which was visible outside. So where was the IED kept? So was not seen anywhere. So then and there was no actually sign that the IED was kept over some slab or somewhere else where the explosion took place. No damage of such type was visible. So and moreover, the body of that doctor, just examining that body, because the upper portion of the body was missing and one skull was present and then one foot was there. By seeing all these things, we concluded the bomb was at the height and it was being carried by the person. Some person was carrying it. Actually, later on, with the help of police investigation and some other actually evidences, we came to know that the person was having that bomb on his body and it was inside a belt which he had tied on his body. And the investigation revealed that that a person from Punjab who took part in this actually activity, he died, and he was the person who acted as a human bomb, and that's why his upper skull was present at the blast site, and a part of his leg with one foot was also present over there. Other part of the body was destroyed in the explosion. Then actually his confirmation of the presence of that person was done with the help of DNA analysis. The tissue sample from the skull portion and from the foot part of the person were taken and sent to the laboratory for DNA analysis, and the reference sample from the parents of the suspect were also taken and they matched with the sample taken from the crime site. So it was concluded that so and so person was responsible for this blast. And later on in police investigation,
यहाँ पे करते शांति से होता है, हम लोग ने कितनी शांति से किया, दरवाजे लगा के बड़े आराम से बैठो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती सर.
so, this is one example. So in investigation, police investigation, we actually during post blast in actually examination of the crime site, we have to find out that what type of explosive substance has been used and how has it been used, what was the triggering mechanism, and actually the reconstruction of the blast sites has to be done by the forensic teams. And in this case, the post-blast residue was collected from the site. Swabs were also taken from the damaged vehicles. And on an analysis in the laboratory, it was found that RDX was used in the IED, which was the human bomb carrying. And actually on searching the residences of the persons involved in this incident, the traces of RDX were found, and they were actually in the laboratory. They were examined, and the post-blast residue was also giving the signs of the presence of the RDX in it. Sometimes it is thought that a particular explosion incident is an act of terrorism, but sometimes it may be the accidental blast. So one such example I'll show, that which I've actually seen, is, say, you can say there are certain industrial unit known as induction furnaces. Induction furnaces, they are used for purifying and converting iron into ingots, and that ingots of the metal are further used by the industry for converting these to the useful tools. And such substances, say war material, spent war material, is collected by certain persons, and these are taken to the induction furnaces. This material is molten in the induction furnaces and then converted to ingots. These ingots are then used for making useful substances like sheets, girders, etc. So in induction furnaces, this type of material is molten and converted into ingots. In induction furnaces, generally, sometimes what happens, carelessly using these substances, if these are put in induction furnaces without cutting them outside, then blast takes place. And if blast takes place, then this becomes a case of explosion, and police registers such cases, and the person who's responsible for this blast is penalized. So in one such case, this is a case of Ludhiana. In Ludhiana, actually, an explosion took place in a induction furnace. We, in a forensic team, we visited the place and saw actually this just after 5 minutes of the explosion. This was the scene. A cylinder is seen burning. And other cylinders, empty as well as filled oxygen cylinders, were lying in the induction furnace. And see other things which were present at the blast scene. This is the overall view of the explosion site, and a truck was seen parked over there. And we were thinking, actually, the cylinder doesn't seem to have blasted, though fire was emanating out of the cylinder, and people are saying that it is a cylinder blast, or actually nobody was knowing what actually happened. Then the site was examined, and what we have felt was the truck was bearing some splinter mark, and the splinter mark which are seen here, one such mark is seen. See, this is a magnified photograph of the splinter mark. This was having the brassy look. The splinter mark was having the brassy look, which indicated that some substance, which was probably a brass part, has struck it, has hit it. That's why the brassy look is there on the cylinder. The substance which actually has blasted may be belonging to the container of that substance may be made up of brass. So this was the indication. Then actually by seeing all other thing, another thing which we found was there, this is a wheel, railway wheel, which was being cut into pieces before being put into the induction furnace for melting. And it was said that the blast took over this wheel when the person was cutting it with the help of a gas cutter. And the gas cutter was also lying there damaged. See, this is the damaged gas cutter which was being used by the person at the time of explosion. And so we saw the unexploded gas cutter also. And the unexploded gas cutter is like this. And we measured its length and found that about 10-inch of this cutter has broken in the blast. So we and by seeing the brassy look of the splinter marks on various objects, especially on that truck, we actually suspected that this about 8-inch part of this gas cutter has broken in the explosion and has hit the surroundings. But how can this gas cutter explode? Or what was the substance actually, whether it has whether it was broken by the explosion inside it, or it is broken by the explosion outside it. So this was to be decided. Then if you see the shape of the broken part of the gas cutter, see the part where it is broken from, we see it, this is overted. These corners are overted. Overted means they are just pointing outwards. They are overted, means some blast has taken place inside the gas cutter. Nothing has exploded outside which has hit this cutter. Moreover, if anything would have exploded outside, then this cutter would have simply broken into two pieces. That's all. But it would not have hit the surroundings then, had there been no explosion inside the cutter. So because the part of this gas cutter has hit the surroundings, this means the explosion has taken place inside. And there is an indication from the broken part that because its corners are actually everted, that explosion might have taken inside. It has just swelled before explosion. So this was the indication. Then how has it exploded? This was the point to be seen. Point to be actually find out. What would have happened in this case? Actually, had this actually gas cutter exploded like this, as we have concluded, then a part of this gas cutter must have pierced inside the cylinder. And that's why, because there was heat at the time of cutting various things with the help of gas cutter, and when a piece of the gas cutter has pierced the cylinder, the gas might have come out and it has caught fire. That's why there was fire inside the gas cylinder. So this was the hole inside the gas cylinder. This hole was cut so that the piece which might have pierced inside the cylinder can be taken out. And by cutting this hole, bigger in size. The piece was taken out, and this was also a brassy piece, looked like the piece of the gas cutter. And to confirm it, whether this is a piece from the gas cutter or not, we actually have gone for XRF spectrum was taken, and this XRF spectrum of the metal piece, which was taken out of the gas cylinder, was matched with the XRF spectrum of the broken gas cutter also. So a part of that was taken for this spectrum, and the two spectrum matched each other. So this was confirmed that the piece which was inside the cylinder, gas cylinder, was from the gas cutter. This means the gas cutter had exploded. And how it has exploded was to be seen now next. So actually what might have happened was concluded that while cutting this wheel with the help of this gas cutter we know it contains a mixture of two gases, LPG and oxygen. And when these two gases are mixed with the help of this gas cutter, a jet of flame, it is used for cutting various metallic things. And in this case, while cutting this railway wheel, this side of the wheel was cut. Say first it was cut and this became red hot, and then while taking this gas cutter downwards, it might have touched its side on this red hot surface, and because gas was flowing inside the cutter with pressure, and this has touched the hot surface, so that's why the blast took place. In this case, the police which had registered the case against the owner of the gas cutter, owner of the furnace, induction furnace, this was registered under explosive acts, and this was then converted to the accident, and the person was exonerated. So investigation by forensic persons has to be made at the blast sites, sometimes for finding out the reason of explosions, and sometimes for exonerating the innocents also. So there are a number of explosions where the forensic persons are doing. This was actually fire incident in the railway bogie, and the reason of that fire and blast was found out to be actually a stove which was being used by some person for preparing tea during morning hours, and it blasted, and it caused fire. A number of persons, they died in the fire. So explosive analysis, including the post-blast analysis, actually is made by, first of all, the explosive substances. Sometimes they are found live. Live means from the hideout of the terrorist. They are actually treated in the laboratory. The explosive ingredients are, first of all, separated from the debris and by various techniques, and then analyzed by various methods. And the live substances, when live recoveries are affected, then depending upon their color of their recovery, they are tested. Actually, generally white colored substances are the pure substances. It may be pure RDX, pure PETN, pure nitrates of sodium, potassium, etc., ammonium nitrates. Then black colored substances are generally, they are RDX. RDX, though it is pure white in color, but found mixed with black colored carbon and oil, etc. Then black powder, which is known as gunpowder, it's also black in color. Off-white colored substances are PETN, etc. PETN generally, it is off-white or yellowish color substance. And then yellow or light yellow colored substances are generally tetraethyl, TNT. So first of all, depending upon their color, they are categorized and suspected actually material which belongs to that color is tested. It is first of all separated out of their adulterations. I mean the things which are mixed with those for various purposes. They are first of all separated, then they are tested in the laboratory. Similarly, brown colored substances are generally nitroglycerin, cellulose mixtures. They are brown in color. And some miscellaneous colored explosive substances are arsenic sulfide, antimony sulfide. They're red or orange color substances. Then gray or brown colored substances. Sometimes gunpowder is gray color or brown colored also when the amount of sulfur is more in it. Then blackish white colored substances are ammonium nitrate and fuel oil substances, which is a trend these days. Actually, this type of explosive is generally used in many instances these days. So their actually analysis of explosives is depends upon various color reactions, then microscopy and crystallization, thin layer chromatography, then infrared spectrometry and spectrophotometry. FTIR is also used in certain cases. NMR spectroscopy is also used. Then mass spectrometry, HPLC, and melting point determination also. So these are some of the tests which are applied to these things. And the color reagent we know are general chemistry tests are applied after actually purification of these substances. The substances which are recovered live, as well as the post blast residues, they do not have the pure compound present in them. So some technique has to be applied so that the substances are purified and then tested. Actually, color test can be performed on impure substances also, but for subjecting them to instrumental analysis, we have to purify these substances. Only then such tests can be performed. And various reagents we know, and see, these are some of this PMR spectrum, NMR spectrum of the explosive substances. And other, the substances which are found mixed with these can also be tested by instruments. Say, NMR, we actually another actually way of testing these substances is by crystallizing them and then visualizing their crystals. Or mostly organics, these high explosive substances of organic as well as inorganic nature, they give very good crystals, and photomicrographs of these crystals can be visualized for identifying these. So these are the crystals of RDX, photomicrograph of the crystals of RDX. You can see and can identify the RDX with the help of these photographs. And then these are the photomicrographs of PETN crystals, needle-like crystals can be seen, and their shape, from their shape, these can be identified. Then At the airport, we have to use certain detectors, explosive detectors, based upon the iron actually detection technologies. And the purpose of the post-blast investigation is to identify victims, identify the explosive material, and to recover the bomb and the triggering devices, and to determine the modus operandi. And for this, the importance of visiting a blast site is when we detect the presence or absence of a crater, then seat of explosion. From the seat of explosion, we can find actually some from the seat of explosion we can find out the remnant of the triggering mechanisms, and we can actually take the soil samples, and from the soil samples the explosive substance can be extracted and identified. And uh, samples of explosive residues can also be taken from the uh, injured persons, from the persons who are sent to post-mortem examination. From their body, swabs can be taken, and those swabs can be analyzed for the presence of the explosive residues. So this way, the explosive substances and the post-blast explosive substances can be analyzed. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are very delighted with your knowledge-driven lecture, as you highlighted very real cases, which how these cases has been deal in the laboratories, what are the challenges. So it is a very fruitful lecture for us. Now, for moving question answer session, I request all the participants, if you're having any question, you can post the query in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Our technical team will unmute you. All the participants. I request the technical committee, if anybody is raising hand, please unmute. And you can email your questions to us also. We can connect to Rana sir for queries and answers. Sir, I think right now there is no question. Now I request Dr. Ashutosh Shukla sir, Coordinator, Sri Vaishno Institute of Forensic Science, for the concluding remark. Sir, please, over to you.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am. Really, I tender my heartfelt thanks to Rana sir for this mind-blowing session. In the beginning of this session, I expressed that this session will remain as a mind-blowing. Definitely, sir, you've taken a very, very important topic, that is blast analysis and its significance in police and investigation studies. Sir has started his deliberation by history of explosives. Yeah, sir. Then different types of explosives, and also very nicely, sir explained us the cases by spot photographs. Number of photographs, sir has shown us very different types of photographs. Nicely, sir, these photographs has also increased our knowledge. And then how analysis of explosives are done. Sir, you have also deliberated about the recent instruments, that how these very sophisticated instruments, they are used for their analysis. Even the technology, nanotechnology, about also other, you have also taught us about
the goals of investigation. That is, we should keep in the mind these goals. With these words, I again tender my thanks to you, sir. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Now, once again, I thank you, Dr. Rana, sir, for joining with us, and he spared such time for us. And I also thank all the dignitaries who have joined with us in this session. Thank you so much.
अर्चना,
जी सर, जी
मैं भी धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ राणा साहब।
जी सर।
राणा साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
सर, राणा सर, प्लीज अनम्यूट करिए।
अनम्यूट करिए।
अनम्यूट है।
माइक सर, माइक।
कहाँ चले गए?
सर, अभी अनम्यूट नहीं हुआ। हाँ,
हेलो।
यस सर, यस सर।
हाँ सर, थैंक यू सो मच। शुक्ला साहब का धन्यवाद, आपका धन्यवाद और मैडम का धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और आपने मुझे इनवाइट किया, मैं बहुत धन्यवादी हूँ आप।
नहीं, बात यही समाप्त नहीं हो जाती है, आगे भी आपको आते रहना है।
ठीक है सर।
हाँ, उसका कारण ये है कि आपका लेक्चर नहीं होता है, एक क्लास होती है। हमारे सिलेबस में ये सब चीजें हैं जो कि बच्चों ने बड़े सुनी, मैंने बोल रखा था
वो सर, क्योंकि टॉपिक बहुत बड़ा होने की नाते मैं फिर थोड़ा थोड़ा सा टच कर पाया।
नहीं, उतना लंबा समय नहीं मिल पाता।
हाँ, वो एक घंटे में सारी चीजें बताने के लिए फिर मैं खुद ऐसा था, आई वाज हरिंग एक्चुअली।
और मैं ऑडियंस को ये भी बताना चाहता हूँ कि राणा साहब केवल साइंटिस्ट नहीं है, ही इज स्टिल ए टीचर and he is teaching to the police officers in Punjab. Still, in this age, he is also doing this practice. So he is a good teacher also, as well as he was a scientist and he is a scientist. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
सर, एक क्वेश्चन है चैट बॉक्स में, अगर आपकी परमिशन हो तो हम
प्लीज।
So there is a question: how do I work as a criminal investigator during war crimes in which heavy weapons and various weapons are used, and how do we analyze the outcomes of these weapons?
Madam, weapons, when actually generally in war time, it may be NBC, nuclear, then biological and chemical type of weapons, which are many a times used. And the future wars will use these things. NBC means nuclear, biological, and these chemical weapons. And chemical, actually in police these days, in the present scenario, only chemical type of explosive substances are used as weapons in improvised explosive devices, and sometimes the explosive devices also. Many times we see actually sometimes by you can say negligence, these military weapons, regular weapons which are used in wartime, they explode. They explode while taking out brass out of these. While taking brass out of these. Yeah, these kabadwalas and some innocent people, they go to the ranges of the military personnels and pick up those material from there, और घर में ला करके उसमें से ब्रास निकाल करके, क्योंकि महंगा बिकता है तो उसको निकालने लगते हैं। तो वो जब उसको हैमरिंग करते हैं तो फट जाता है, तो फटता है तो हम फिर उसका जो इट इज रिपोर्टेड टू द पुलिस, लोग मर जाते हैं, घर गिर जाते हैं, कई लोगों के मैंने घर गिरे देखे किसी ब्लास्ट में। देन वी गो टू द साइट आल्सो, एंड फ्रॉम द साइट वो जो वार मटेरियल में जो शेल्स का जो कंटेनर होता है वो दैट इज फिनिश्ड टाइप कंटेनर, ऐसा आईईडी टाइप कंटेनर नहीं होता जो टेररिस्ट यूज करते हैं, उस तरीके का कंटेनर नहीं होता वो फिनिश्ड कंटेनर होता है, उस पर कोई मार्किंग होती है, उसका कोई कलर अच्छा होता है, उससे पहले तो आइडेंटिफाई हो जाता है कि दिस इज ए वार मटेरियल ओनली, वार मटेरियल है जो फटा है। लेकिन वार मटेरियल कैसे आया है, वो लोग जो कबाड़ी वाला एंड ऑल दोज जो रैग पिकेटर जो उसको उठा करके लेकर के आ जाते हैं और उसमें से ब्रास निकाल करके बेचने के लिए वहां वो फट जाता है। फिर इसमें मैंने जो मटेरियल देखा है ये टीएनटी, इट इज जनरली फाउंड टू बी टीएनटी। टीएनटी आइडेंटिफाई हम करते हैं उसमें उसमें जैसे पहले केमिकल टेस्ट लगा लेते हैं, उसका एक्चुअली जो वो स्प्लिंटर्स हैं उनको इकट्ठा करके हम उसका एक्सट्रैक्ट ले लेते हैं, एक्सट्रैक्ट लेकर के उसमें केमिकल टेस्ट लगाते हैं। तो इन ऑल दीज केसेस व्हाट आई फाउंड इज इट इज टीएनटी। जो हमारे यहाँ ये जो वार मटेरियल है इसका जो केमिकल टाइप का जो ये एक्सप्लोसिव्स में यूज हो रहा है, ये जैसे बाई मिस्टेक जो कि हमारे तो बॉर्डर स्टेट में यहाँ पंजाब में रहे हम, तो कई दफा बाई मिस्टेक या जानबूझ के उधर पाकिस्तान की तरफ से शेलिंग हो जाती है, मॉर्टार भी चल जाते हैं। तो मॉर्टार भी हम देखते हैं जो एक्सप्लोडेड मॉर्टार्स को एनालाइज करने के बाद भी टीएनटी ही इसमें प्रेजेंट होता है। सो हमारा कंक्लूजन ये है कि जो बम वगैरह जो ये हमारे मिलिट्री वाले यूज करते हैं, इट इज जनरली टीएनटी उसमें होता है, या मिक्सचर भी होता है, समटाइम्स आरडीएक्स और टीएनटी का मिक्सचर भी होता है। तो ये तो एनालिसिस तो उसी तरीके से होती है, चाहे वो वार मटेरियल है चाहे कोई और मटेरियल है। बाकी जो बायोलॉजिकल वार मटेरियल है, जैसे पीछे एंथ्रेक्स की बात सुनते थे कि वो लेटर आ जाते थे लोगों को, पार्सल्स आ जाते थे, खोलते थे तो वो एक्चुअली बीमारी उससे लग जाती थी। तो वो तो बायोलॉजिकल मैटर है, और बायोलॉजिकल जो ये उसकी भी डिटेक्शन हो जाती है, स्किन के ऊपर खास तौर तरह की डेवलपमेंट होती है उससे, वो बायोलॉजिकल की आइडेंटिफिकेशन हो जाती है उससे। और न्यूक्लियर की तो आइडेंटिफिकेशन उसके डैमेज से ही पता लग जाती है, रेडियो एक्टिविटी से पता लग जाती है। तो इस तरह से ये जो वार मटेरियल की एनालिसिस भी लेबोरेटरी में तो उसी तरीके से होती है, और ये 3 तरह का वार मटेरियल हो सकता है, और फ्यूचर वार में तो इसी तरह का होगा भी जो लोग अंदाजा लगा रहे हैं। तो वहाँ आप जैसे अगर आप काम कर रहे हैं तो इस तरह का मटेरियल टेस्ट करेंगे।
थैंक यू सर, आपने बहुत डिटेल में आंसर किया, बहुत डिटेल में इंफॉर्मेशन दी। आई थिंक स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत बेनिफिट हुआ होगा। नाउ विद योर रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ सेशन चेयर, sir, do we conclude the session? Shukla sir?
यस मैडम।
Okay sir.
मन तो नहीं करता है, इच्छा तो नहीं करती है, ऐसा लगता है सर को सुनते रहें, बट समय की अपनी सीमा है, वो हमें ध्यान रखना है।
जी सर। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच ज्वाइन करने के लिए।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, गौतम सर, शुक्ला सर।
Technical team, please end the meeting.
परवेज सर मीटिंग क्लोज कर दीजिए।